Hi again. It's Friday, January 29th. We are still talking about our story problem unit and how to go about when we are given a story problem. How do we go about and decide how to solve it? And this week we have been working just on multiplication and division. We're learning our multiplication facts because that can also help us learn our division facts by just flipping them around, like we kind of ran into yesterday during the example that I kind of went over with you. We're going to do another one today. Before we do that, I have our anchor chart pulled up as kind of a review from actually the whole week. Yesterday, we added some words that help us with division. And I'm going to move myself up. There we go. And so we can kind of see what that looks like. So we talked about the words divided, split, shared, a quotient, which is the answer to a division problem, the word separated, and then maybe sometimes you might see a question asking how many of something are in a group. And if that's true, then we're probably taking a larger group and dividing it into smaller groups or teams or something like that. So keep that in mind as we solve another couple of problems today for practice. So I'm going to jump back over to our different problems that we're going to use today. There was the one that we did yesterday about the ice cream cones. I've got another one that we're going to read, and it's kind of just like what we had yesterday where we need to decide if we are going to multiply or divide. Okay, so I'll read it to you, and let's think about maybe some clue words or some things to help us. It says, Albert is inviting 8 friends to a party. He has 24 cookies. How many cookies will each friend get? Okay, so let's think. If he has 24 cookies, he's having a party, and he has a certain number of friends come over, is each friend going to get more than 24 cookies or less? And if we think about that logically, each child is going to get less because we're dividing out that group of cookies. He had 24 cookies to start with. So we're going to move the check mark down to the division box. Okay. Do we see any clue words that might help us? If we look at the question, how many cookies will each friend get? That's kind of like saying how many cookies are in a group for each friend. So the question here is kind of a clue. And if we can kind of visualize that, that's another strategy. Picture what's happening in your mind. So again, Albert had 24 cookies, and we're going to divide those cookies out, and he had 8 friends coming over. So we're going to take 24 divided by 8 and figure out what that could possibly be. We know it's going to be a less because when we divide, we're separating a big group into smaller groups. Now, if you're not sure what the answer to this is, think about it in reverse. What number times 8 gives me 24? And we might have to work our way through our facts to help ourselves do that. So I can think, is it 1 times 8? No, I know that's 8. That's too small. 2 times 8? Well, I know 2 times 8 is 16 because that's doubles. Well, let's move up. So it's going to be more than that. What about 3 times 8? I'm going to add 8 3 times. And if you do that, if you can do it in your head or write it out, the answer is 3. 3 groups of 8 is 24. So that means, again, if I read it from left to right now, 24 divided by 8 is 3. So each child is going to get 3 cookies. Okay. Now we're going to move to another problem, and we're going to do the same thing. What I'd like for you to do this time is I'm going to read it, I'm going to read the problem. I'd like for you to pause this video once I'm finished reading, see if you can figure it out, and then play it again and we'll go over it together. Okay, it says James has 32 peanuts. He is separating them into boxes with 8 peanuts each. How many full boxes will there be? All right, pause this video and think if you can't, see if you can figure out what you would do here. All right, again, if you said that this is a division problem, you are right. If you said that the clue word is the word separating or separate, that's exactly right. So when we talk about our equation or our number model, how many peanuts did James have? Well, he had 32. That was our large group that we're dividing out or separating them. Okay, how many are we're putting them into groups of what? Well, we're putting them into groups of 8. 8 peanuts per box. And then that's going to give me my answer. So 32 peanuts, I'm going to put 8 in a group or 8 in a box. So how many boxes are going to be, or are we going to need? And again, we might have to work our way through our facts. Okay. What number times 8 is 32? If you don't know that fact, you're going to have to kind of do the math or go through your facts to figure it out. If you already know that the answer is 4, you're right. Okay. Another way I can think of that is I know 5 times 8 is 40 because I'm learning my 5s. So that's too much. So if I go down one more, then I'm going to take a group of 8 away. And then I have 4 groups of 8, which is 32. Hopefully, again, that helped you today. You're going to finish for guided practice an IXL lesson. I believe it's L5. And then again, next week, we will come back and review this and work on some things in person.